Greetings! This recording covers the lesson on Introduction to ICT Research. At the end of this lesson, you must have first, described developmental research and its application in computer-related research studies. Second, described ethical standards in research activities. And third, identified the research agenda of the university and of the computer studies department. The first topic is on developmental research. This term is being used in different fields of study. Here, I am going to present three disciplines only. The first one is in the field of psychology, according to whose developmental research aims to examine changes over time. It comes in three types: cross-sectional, longitudinal, and sequential. The following are the characteristics of each of them. Cross-sectional design is the most preferred from among the developmental research. This is because it requires less time and expenses. In this design, behavior among participants of different ages is examined at the same point in time, initiating a cross-section of people at one point in time. Basically, it generates information relevant to age difference, but not necessarily changes over time since different groups of participants were taken in the same time period. Hence, changes may not really be attributed to changes in age, but to cohort effects. Longitudinal research is used to examine behavior of the same group of people over time. Since it covers the same group of individuals, it provides a developmental analysis that is development as person ages. Hence, longitudinal because it requires months or years of study. Despite its advantages, the following are its disadvantages: expensive, takes a long time, participant attrition, that means some participants may fail to complete all portions of a study because of certain reasons, possibility of practice effects due to repeated assessments, limited to one cohort so the results may not be true to other cohorts, and time and history effects could confound with age changes. While sequential research combines the elements of cross-sectional and longitudinal. Like the longitudinal, it features changes of same group of people over time. Like the cross-sectional, it examines changes among participants of different ages at the same point in time. Additional advantages include examination of cohort effects and examination in history effects. However, it has disadvantages that include expensive, takes a long time, possibility of practice effects, and participant attrition. The term developmental research is also used in education field, particularly in educational or instructional areas. According to Seals and Ritchie, developmental research refers to the systematic study of designing, developing, and evaluating instructional programs, processes, and products that must meet the criteria of internal consistency and effectiveness. This table presents the elements of developmental research taking into consideration the two main types. The types are based on a category of topics. 3 functions were identified for each type. These topics cover certain phases of educational or instructional technology. Seals and Ritchie use the term methodology to refer to data collection and analysis methods. For the first type, particularly on product design and product development, the following methods could be used: case study, in-depth interview, field observation, and document analysis. And the participants include designers, developers, and clients. Another phase is on product evaluation. You may employ evaluation, case study, survey, in-depth interview, and document analysis. The participants include evaluators, clients, learners, instructors, and organizations. The last phase for type 1 is validation of tool or technique. You may use evaluation, experimental, expert review, in-depth interview, and survey methods. The participants include designers, developers, evaluators, and users. For Type 2, particularly on model development, you may employ literature review, case study, survey, Delphi, and think aloud protocols. Participants include designers, developers, evaluators, and researchers and theorists. For model use, you may use survey, in-depth interview, case study, field observation, and document analysis. Participants may come from designers, developers, evaluators, and clients. And for model validation, you could choose employing experimental, in-depth interview, expert review, and replication. Participants include designers, developers, evaluators, clients, learners, instructors, and organizations. The elements identified here are similar to those of system development methodologies, which will be described next. In computing field, the term developmental research is not used. Instead, we refer it to system development based on system development life cycle principles. Based on the book of Bentley and Witten, system development is one of the two general stages of the system life cycle. It is a set of activities, methods, best practices, deliverables, and automated tools that stakeholders use to develop and continuously improve information systems. This table provides an excerpt from the SDLC phases presented by Dennis, Wexon, and Ruth. The details are discussed in System Analysis and Design course. Each phase is associated to certain resources, namely material, machine, and man or people. People are usually referred to as system stakeholders. The authors use the term techniques to refer to research methods. Generally, there are 4 phases in system development life cycle, namely planning, analysis, design, and implementation. In planning phase, you may employ project identification, feasibility analysis, and PERT, among others. Expected deliverables include system request, feasibility study, and project plan. In analysis phase, you may use requirements determination, use case analysis, process modeling, and data modeling. The expected output is a system proposal. For the design phase, you may employ architectural design, user interface design, program design, data storage design, physical process modeling, and physical data modeling. The expected deliverables are alternative matrix and system specification. And for the implementation phase, you may use programming, testing, and training. The expected outputs include test plan, programs, documentation, migration plan, and support plan. This figure depicts the developmental research in comparison with system development. Each of the phases has expected outputs or deliverables. These are the research results. The methodology in developmental research, while referred to as technique in system development, refers to the research methods. Each method is associated to certain resources. Participants in developmental research is similar to the resources in system development, particularly the stakeholders, which we classify as system users and system developers. System developers include designers and builders. Resources are not only limited to people because, like any other research, data could be obtained not only from people but also from other things. A certain research study may cover all or certain phases only. Hence, several methods may be employed in one study. At this time, we will proceed to research ethics. The following are 18 ethical principles extracted from the post of Resnick. First is accountability. It means that you take responsibility of your part in research. Moreover, it means that you are prepared to give an account, that is an explanation or justification of what you have done on a research project and why. Second is on social responsibility. You are to strive to promote social good and prevent or mitigate social harms through research, public education, and advocacy. Third, for animal care, you should show proper respect and care for animals when you use them in research. You should avoid unnecessary or poorly designed animal experiments. Fourth is carefulness. You have to avoid careless errors and negligence. You have to examine carefully and critically your own work and the work of peers. You have to keep good records of research activities such as data collection, research design, and correspondence with agencies or journals. Fifth is on competence. You have to maintain and improve your own professional competence and expertise through lifelong education and learning. You have to take steps to promote competence in science as a whole. Sixth, on confidentiality. You have to protect confidential communications such as papers or grants submitted for publication, personal records, trade or military secrets, and patient records. Seventh, honesty. You have to be honest in reporting data, results, methods and procedures, and publication status. Do not fabricate, falsify, or misrepresent data. Avoid deception to colleagues, research sponsors, or the public. Eighth, on non-discrimination. Avoid discrimination against colleagues or students on the basis of sex, race, ethnicity, or other factors not related to scientific competence and integrity. Ninth, on human subjects protection. Minimize harms and risks and maximize benefits on human subjects. Respect human dignity, privacy, and autonomy. Take special precautions with vulnerable populations and distribute fairly the benefits and burdens of research. 10th, integrity. Keep promises and agreements. Act with sincerity and strive for consistency of thought and action. 11th, on transparency. Disclose methods, materials, assumptions, analysis, and other information needed to evaluate your research. 12th, on intellectual property. Honor patents, copyrights, and other forms of intellectual property. Get permission for the use of unpublished data, methods, or results. Acknowledge or credit all contributions to research, and do not plagiarize. 13th, on objectivity. Avoid bias in experimental design, data analysis, data interpretation, peer review, personal decisions, grant writing, expert testimony, and other aspects of research where objectivity is expected or required. Avoid self-deception and disclose personal or financial interests that may affect research. 14th, on legality. Be knowledgeable and obedient to relevant laws as well as to institutional and governmental policies. 15th, openness. Share data, results, ideas, tools, and resources. Be open to criticisms and new ideas. 16th, respect for colleagues. Respect your colleagues and treat them fairly. 17th, on responsible mentoring. Help educate, mentor, and advise students. Promote students' welfare and allow them to make their own decisions. 18th, on responsible publication. Publish in order to advance research and scholarship and not just to advance your own career. Avoid wasteful and duplicate publication. Let's move on to research agenda. The following are the institutional research agenda of Iloilo Science and Technology University for 2019 to 2024. Curriculum and instruction, organization and management, industry-related research and developments, health, environment and climate change, food sufficiency and agricultural products, gender and development, and information system and development, embedded systems, distributed systems, and green computing. For Computer Studies Department, our research agenda for 2019 to 2024 include: first, tracer studies of graduates. Second, promotion of research culture awareness program by conducting seminar and training and research among faculty and students. Third, establishments of research data processing center to assist faculty and students on data management and instrument or tool preparation appropriate for a particular study or research. Fourth, research capability building among faculty and students and local officials through conduct of information drives and seminars. Fifth, establishment of linkages with the different research institutes and other governmental and non-governmental organizations. Sixth, creation of research output center to serve as a library of research products of faculty and students. Seventh, employer feedback on graduates' performance. And eighth, conducting technological research to automate methods and processes. The following are suggested areas for research of students taking Bachelor of Science in Information Systems as presented in SEMO 25 series of 2015. Software customization, information systems development for actual client, web applications development, mobile computing, enterprise resource plan, information systems strategic plan, and analysis and design of sufficiently complex business system. For students taking Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, the following are suggested areas for research as presented in SEMO 25 series of 2015. Software customization, information systems development for actual client, web applications development, mobile computing, game development, e-learning systems, interactive systems, information kiosks, network design and implementation, server farm configuration and management, IT strategic plan for sufficiently complex enterprise, and IT security analysis, planning, and implementation. This marks the end of our lesson on Introduction to ICT Research.